3. Navarro and the Spaniards had 2 in the quarterfinals. I don't think this is in one-way traffic, to be honest with you, this first semi-final.
Well, the Spanish fencers have done incredibly well today. I just actually walked past the Spanish box where they're all preparing, and Lucia Martin Portugues was in floods of tears after losing to Despina Georgiadou. But it just goes to show the high expectations that they set themselves. So Emura, Misaki on the right of your screens and Navarro on the left. It is Spain versus Japan. And this is Sabre. It's fast, it's furious. Don't take your eyes off it because the points are scored rapidly. Don't worry about the clock. They take a break when the first fencers reach 8.
Eyes open from Emura there, stepping into the middle, having a look, taking a solid parry. Slightly early start. She gets away with that one, the Japanese athlete.
So now Emura building the long attack. There's a para riposte from Navarro. So if you're new to fencing and you're being attacked, there's a couple of things you can do. One is you just back off and let the attack and beat the attack through distance and don't get hit, and then it becomes your right of way to attack. The other is to block or parry your opponent's weapon. And as soon as you do that, the right of way changes and it becomes your turn to attack. There is another option, and it's kind of like stealing a point if you hit when out of time. But in that case, there can only be one light on the box, and in Sabre it's called a stop cut. And later on tonight, when we get Richard Cruz in, he will be able to explain the stop hits and the various other counters that you can do in foil.
Very much eyes open from Emura off the line. She's maintained that first step from the athlete on the right. Looking to see what happens, and if nothing comes from Navarro, that's the long attack miss. The right of way is with the Spaniard now. So Emura opens the distance and puts out the line, but we've talked about this all throughout Sabre. As soon as you get onto a long attack, 75 to 80% of the time you're going to land it.
It's kind of like going one-on-one with a goalie in football, and you're through on goal. You should score, but you want to try, as a goalkeeper, you want to try and keep going and put the pressure on your opponent. It's the same in fencing. You want to back off till you're right on the back line until they get the jips.
Well, speaking of that, what's happened here is that the referee has been asked to go and have a look at the video here. We see the replay. Now, that first action, is it one solid action all the way through? And that's what the Japanese coach was saying to Emura. He felt it was 2.
Well, it's very different, the timing in Sabre to foil. The front foot lands, and then that's deemed to be the attack over.
I'm not sure they're 100% on this one. Vaso Malenchev, the video referee, talking to Evgeny Darkokin, now the Spanish coach. Looking on, he's looking up at the big screen in the venue to see the replay himself. I got a sneaking suspicion this is 2 actions from Navarro, and Emura is going to get the call.
So while they take their time looking at the slow motion replays, we can have a look at the head-to-heads between these fencers. They've met a few times, 5 times, but it has been Emura the last 2 times, winning in the Grand Prix in Padua 15-11 this year in May. And before that, the last time was the World Cup in Salt Lake City back in 2019, and it was 15-6 there.
Graham, great to hear the records, but can I tell you what's going on the piste here? Video replay system's not working.
Oh no.
And that then makes it impossible for the referees to make a call. They're actually going, they have, fortunately, got a backup. So they've gone to the backup system now on the other end of the piece. That's where you see the referees walking across to the second laptop.
And does this mean that Toby has to actually do some work?
Tobias Müller from Swiss Timing, yes.
Let's
be fair to him, he's not been very well today.
Yes, he hasn't been great, has he? But it's good to see that they do have a backup system. And yeah, we're great friends with Tobias. Toby to his mates, and he's sorting it out for the referees.
So much technology in fencing now. I heard a very interesting stat from both Rio and Tokyo. The venue with the most lights and the most screens in the Olympic Games in both Rio and Tokyo was the fencing venue. So now they're explaining the situation to both of the coaches. I think that this hit is actually going to be annulled now. They're not going to be able to call it at all. They can't see the video replay system. These are the referees. Milenchev from Bulgaria on the right. Darkokin from Uzbekistan on the left as we were looking at it. They were in conflab.
Well, we built this up to being Sabre, fast, very furious, but it's also fencing.
Now they're going to do a test on the piece. So this is just to make sure that the video system is working. And they are just double checking with the German engineer, Tobias Müller. Testing again in the middle of the piece. This is to just simply check the replay system is working. Looks like it is, and there you go. The hit is annulled. No hit at all. And I think that's probably the fairest thing. So both fences remain with their 2 appeals, and it's the only way to call it. If the video system is not working and one fencer calls for a video referral and the video system doesn't work, you have to just annul it. Well, some might say you call the original decision, but I don't think the referees were totally happy with that. Go into the middle on a parry riposte.
Well, Navarro's coach, they're not happy at all. Very, very vocal in his box. And Emura Misaki not let her put her off at all. And Misaki's just had the lead, like it's not just the lead on the scoreboard. She's bossing this fight.
Yeah, she's controlling the dance. Obviously, as soon as you say that, Navarro picks up right away. But she's controlling off the line. It's the first step. If you watch both of them with the first step, that's where she's taking control of the match. Another video review. And given for Emura, so a good call, and Emura goes into the break.
Yeah, so we're going to the break, 8-3. No clock in Sabre. Now have a 1-minute break now, and Navarro really needs to reset mentally and come up with a different plan. As we see Emura Misaki big Spanish contingent in the crowd here in Cairo.
Calling out Araceli Navarro. Sorry, Navarro. Navarro is an FAS from Italy.
Yeah.
Very good FAS from Italy. It was a birthday, you know, on their Women's Epée Day.
So here we go, we're back underway. 15 the target. What can Navarro do to close the gap?
So luring out the attack is what her option is, but Emura is so strong on the long attack. I'm not sure that's the best idea in the world, to be honest with you.
Well, talking about the tactics of Sabre, there's kind of three things you can do. We call them the 3 Ps. The first thing is you can make your mind up what you're going to do, and you can try and second guess your opponent. You can do a prediction.
Yeah.
The second thing you can do is you can try and persuade your opponent to do something that they don't want to do.
That's what Navarro was trying to do there.
Drawing out something that you could then capitalize on. And the third thing that you can do is that you can effectively go in eyes open and perceive what your opponent is doing and back your defense. And basically, you know, if you go in eyes open, you're perceiving what's happening. If you're not being attacked, you build a long attack. If you are being attacked, you parry riposte.
Good summary. Still sticking with the same thing from Emura. More steps off the line. Look at how confident she is in defense.
Getting that was lovely.
The sky hook, or the stop cut, as you call it.
So we talked about this earlier in the competition. We talk about stealing a point.
Yeah, the counter action. You don't have the right of way, so you can't get hit if you try and counter. Does that go into a closed line? It does.
A closed line, not a clothesline.
No, not a clothesline, no. So blocked out. Watch this, the attack comes in to the guard. And Emura set it up beautifully, but Navarro's called for a video review. And, well, 15 seconds of fame again for the 2 referees. Well deserved. He sticks with the decision.
It's been one-way traffic all the way through this first of the semi-finals.
Change of lines there from Navarro. Emura got a bit of a surprise there. She went for the parry.
Yeah, big sweeping parry, the fresh air.
Picks up the blade this time. Solid. This is, yeah, as you said it, one-way traffic. Sometimes it's a bit painful, isn't it, to watch a match go so one way.
So preparation, explain that, Karen.
So if you're going, you're setting things up. In your preparation, you're setting up the attack. And if your opponent sees that and they start their attack, you haven't got the right of way, so they score the hit. Still looking at that defense. This time, counter block. So slightly different to the skyhook we saw before. Gets the counter action and then blocks out the attack to stop the light coming up. And head in the hands for Jerome Gout, the Frenchman who's in charge of the Japanese Sabre program. Again, the attack to the flank, working for the Spanish fencer.
Well, I'm not sure why he's got his head in his hands. His athlete's doing fantastically well.
She made miss.
Yeah.
She made miss easy there, Emura, and to be honest with you, that was easy for her.
It was easy peasy. I was going to say, but I'm not going to say it. But Emura is through.
From Japan, Misaki
15-5. Wow, that was dominant. That sets things up really well for the final later. We've got one more semi.